Before we go to these topics, Mr. Ramos, you want to say something?
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I'd like to echo back to support the position of Attorney Ivan. In our experience here in the source code review, it appears the source code review technically is nothing. It's like a book review. We achieved nothing, okay? Because I have 20 years of backgrounds of cybersecurity, and I review banks, okay? And I review international systems. And the kind of review that we're having is nowhere within the standards, okay? And maybe it's about time we should change our perspective of how the stakeholders can participate in the preparation. Because right now, if we solely rely on TEC, there's the issue of non-transparency. In fact, my experience, Pro-VNB came here. 4 o'clock na ng hapon, hindi pa nila patakbo yung system for me to observe them. Next thing I know, tapos na. So that Pro-VNB report, how do you know that you did that properly? We were supposed to be participating in observing what they have processed. We never did. The stress test, of which in 2016 was more extensive. We observed it 24/7. In 2019, we never did. COMELEC failed to open it up to us. For some reason, we don't know, and they have not responded to that. Anyway, the issue here is what is the effective way of putting in more brains to this review? I think it's a system review, not a source code review, because there are more things involved. There are more codes, more software involved. When you review, it should be within a certain standard. And what we are doing in the past years, there is no standard. It's not covered by any standard. My colleagues here in the IT industry, they've been complaining, anong standard bang ina-adapt natin? There's none. Because it does not conform to any standard. So, I think we should review this one. And as we were reviewing the results of the 2019 elections, there are some questions I'd like to raise, no? Because it's a database coming out of COMELEC. By the way, ito personal ko, no? I've been reviewing for the entire 7 months with COMELEC. Alam ni Commissioner Gia yan. I've met a lot of people of COMELEC. We're good to each other. I never had any argument. In fact, sila pa nagvo-volunteer kung anong dapat ko tingnan. And I also share with them my expertise. Ito dapat improve natin ito. But at the end of the day, itong quick count, for some reason, I was the only person that was never allowed to enter the server room. Okay, you don't have to answer that. Kasi hinayaan ko na yan. I have 11 people technically capable who were providing me information. Masarap ang tulog ko dun sa hotel eh. So I'm just waiting for the results. Without using the results of the transparency server, we came out with a database. It's a database of all the reports from all the transmitted data. It has a listing of fake ballots, Dagdag Bawas na nakikita ko rito, of which I can submit this to JCOC. Discrepancy in numbers. And this came from the database provided by publicly by COMELEC. And nationwide, we saw fake ballots being detected. Now, I don't know if it's being counted. So that's one. So far, I've covered BARM and car. There's di ko alam ang difference ng blank ballots and returned ballots. Is there consistency in returned ballots? Are misfed ballots counted? These are questions na hindi na-explain sa amin during the source code review. It's coming out of your database. And this is publicly accessible.
So please submit to us your report. Pero sana not only tables, but guide us how to interpret by...
It is a database coming out from
No, I know, but the interpretation. The interpretation, the way you interpreted it, yun na ba yun? I mean, are we supposed to also see those na mayroong fake ballots? How are we able to see it?
Okay, there's an issue here kasi early this year, by attending a TWG, COMELEC provided audit files, audit logs pertaining to areas where there are no complaints. And in my assessment, the way COMELEC handled those electronic data, it's a mishandling. Why? We have no idea how they are handling electronic data. That's why we wrote COMELEC to NBank and Commissioner Esquejo. Maybe this time, because of the numerous requirements of submissions, can COMELEC conform to international standards of handling electronic data? Because we don't know if they're handling it. If we will base it in 2016, they were not. Because of the file submitted to JCOC, it has missing properties. Only of reflection that these were copies of data improperly taken. So ano implication ito? Was it deliberate or was it ignorance? Deliberate in a sense na all electronic data of 2016 will become inadmissible in court. Yes, inadmissible in court because it was handled from day one. Will 2019 suffer the same fate? All electronic data, there is a standard, internationally accepted standard to make it acceptable in court. And I pray that COMELEC will heed to these standards to make all of this information admissible in court. We have not.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have not received any
Thank you,
response.
Mr. Ramos. Anong gusto mo? Lipat sa ibang ano? Okay, so we move on to other, unless you want to react, COMELEC? No reaction, just make it part of the report, sir, even the handling of electronic data. Congressman Elise?
Yes.